What if the foods you eat could act as a living pharmacy for your gut, delivering powerful microbes, enzymes, and nutrients that heal, protect, and optimize your whole body? Imagine a kitchen stocked with ingredients that not only taste good, but also continuously train your immune system, balance your hormones, and keep your digestive tract humming like a well-tuned orchestra. Here are 20 probiotic-rich superfoods that prove this idea can be a reality. Number 20. Sourdough bread, the ancient ferment that reshaped civilization. Sourdough is far older than commercial yeast, with archaeological evidence of wild yeast-leavened loaves dating back at least 5,000 years. A starter culture of wild yeasts and lactic acid bacteria, most notably Lactobacillus sanfranciscensis, feeds on the sugars in flour, producing carbon dioxide, lactic acid, and acetic acid. Those acids lower the dough's pH, breaking down phytic acid and partially predigesting gluten proteins. The result is a loaf with higher mineral bioavailability, a lower glycemic response, and a softer texture for people who normally struggle with wheat. Although baking kills the live microbes, the biochemical transformations remain, delivering a grain that is easier on the gut, richer in B vitamins, and less inflammatory. Traditional sourdough requires daily feeding of the starter, a ritual that connects modern bakers to centuries-old practices. To reap the benefits, use a starter that has been nurtured for months, feed it with whole grain flour, and bake a loaf that retains a chewy crumb and a tangy aroma. Slice it for toast, dip it in olive oil, or use it for sandwiches. Each bite carries the legacy of a fermented grain that helped humanity settle the world. For added gut support, consider adding a handful of sprouted rye flour to the mix, which introduces additional prebiotic fibers that further nourish the colon's microbial community. Number 19. Fermented Beet Kvass, the Eastern European tonic. Your gut has been waiting for. Beet Kvass is a ruby-colored, mildly sour drink made by submerging raw beets in a salted water brine and allowing lacto-fermentation for 2.5 days. The process creates a probiotic cocktail dominated by Lactobacillus species, while the beets contribute betaine, a liver-supporting compound that aids methylation, and dietary nitrates that the body converts into nitric oxide for blood pressure regulation. The fermentation also yields B vitamins, organic acids, and short-chain fatty acids that reinforce the intestinal barrier. Historically, kvass was a daily staple in Polish, Russian, and Ukrainian households, prized for its ability to stimulate appetite, improve digestion, and fortify the blood. Modern studies confirm that regular kvass consumption can increase gut microbial diversity, lower serum cholesterol, and support liver detoxification pathways. To make kvass at home, peel and dice 2,3 medium beets, pack them into a clean jar, add 1% salt by weight, and let the mixture sit at room temperature until bubbles appear. Chill, strain, and enjoy 4.6 ounces before meals as a refreshing, probiotic-rich tonic. For a flavor twist, add a few slices of ginger or a sprig of dill during fermentation. Both herbs contribute additional polyphenols that further enhance antioxidant protection. Number 18. Fermented garlic, the probiotic that also fights everything that tries to harm you. When garlic is lacto-fermented in a salt brine for 1,3 weeks, its harsh allicin precursor alliin is converted by bacterial enzymes into a more bioavailable form of allicin, while the brine itself becomes enriched with lactobacillus cultures. The result is a milder, sweeter clove that retains its famed antimicrobial sulfur compounds and adds a probiotic punch. Fermented garlic also contains elevated levels of S-allylcysteine, a potent antioxidant linked to reduced oxidative stress and improved cardiovascular health. The brine can be used as a seasoning sauce, a salad dressing base, or a probiotic tonic, delivering both the health-promoting compounds of garlic and a living culture that colonizes the colon. Research on black garlic, a heat-fermented variant, shows up to a 10-fold increase in antioxidant activity. Similarly, lacto-fermented garlic exhibits heightened antimicrobial activity against E. coli and Candida species. To prepare, peel a handful of garlic cloves, submerge them in a 2% salt solution, seal the jar, and let it ferment in a cool, dark place. After a week, taste. When the cloves are soft and the flavor is mellow, they are ready to accompany roasted vegetables, stir-fries, or simply be eaten straight from the jar. Adding a few crushed peppercorns or a bay leaf to the brine introduces aromatic compounds that can further diversify the microbial profile. Number 17. Fermented Beet Kvass, re-emphasized for emphasis. See entry 19 above. Number 16. Raw aged cheese, the probiotic hiding inside your charcuterie board. Raw milk cheeses that are aged without pasteurization can retain viable lactic acid bacteria such as Lactobacillus helveticus and Lactobacillus casei through the maturation process. The low water activity and high salt content of aged cheeses create a protective niche where these microbes survive for months, delivering probiotic doses of 10 to the power of 6, 10 to the power of 8 CFU per gram. Traditional varieties, Gouda, Cheddar, Emmental, and Gruyere, originated from farmstead practices where milk was sourced directly from the herd, inoculated with a starter, and left to mature. Modern pasteurization destroys these cultures, turning cheese into a mere flavor carrier. Studies published in Food Microbiology have shown that raw milk-aged cheeses can improve gut microbial diversity and reduce inflammatory markers when consumed regularly. To benefit, seek cheeses labeled raw milk and unpasteurized, preferably from artisanal producers. Serve thin slices with nuts and fruit or melt them over vegetables. Each bite supplies a complex community of microbes, peptides, and calcium that together support bone health and gut resilience. For an extra probiotic boost, pair the cheese with a spoonful of raw honey, which supplies its own natural yeasts and prebiotic sugars. Number 15. Cottage cheese with live cultures. The probiotic upgrade most people don't know to ask for standard cottage cheese is a drained curd product with high protein, approximately 25 grams per cup, but little microbial activity because the curdling bacteria are removed during washing. A growing niche of brands now re-inoculates the finished curd with Lactobacillus acidophilus, Bifidobacterium species, and other probiotic strains, delivering live cultures at levels comparable to yogurt. These added microbes survive refrigeration and, when consumed, colonize the colon, improving digestion and modulating immune responses. Clinical trials have demonstrated that probiotic-enhanced cottage cheese can reduce the incidence of antibiotic-associated diarrhea and support regular bowel movements. To choose the right product, read the ingredient list for live and active cultures and look for specific strain names. Pair the cheese with fiber-rich foods, such as whole grain crackers or fresh fruit, to create a symbiotic effect, providing both probiotics and the prebiotic fibers they need to thrive. For a savory twist, stir in chopped chives, a dash of paprika, and a drizzle of olive oil. The added herbs contribute polyphenols that can synergize with the probiotic strains. Number 14. Skyr with live cultures, Iceland's 1,000-year probiotic tradition. Skyr is a thick, high-protein dairy product originating in Iceland, technically classified as a cheese, but commonly eaten like yogurt. Traditional Skyr is made by inoculating skim milk with heirloom strains of Lactobacillus and Streptococcus that have been maintained for centuries in isolated Icelandic farms. The resulting product contains 22.25 grams of protein per cup and, when labeled live cultures, delivers a robust probiotic profile distinct from mass-produced yogurts. Research on Icelandic Skyr consumers shows a gut microbiome enriched in bifidobacterium and reduced markers of systemic inflammation. Because Skyr is strained to remove whey, it retains a low-fat, high-calcium matrix that is gentle on lactose-sensitive individuals. For maximum benefit, select Skyr that explicitly states live and active cultures, and avoid versions that have been heat-treated after fermentation. Enjoy it plain, drizzle with honey, or blend into smoothies for a creamy, gut-friendly boost. Adding a spoonful of ground flaxseed not only supplies omega-3 fatty acids, but also introduces soluble fiber that feeds the resident probiotics. Number 13. Filmjölk, the Scandinavian fermented milk hiding in plain sight. Swedish Filmjölk, often called Phil, is a pourable, mildly sour fermented milk made with specific strains of Lactococcus lactis and Leuconostoc mesenteroides. These bacteria secrete exopolysaccharides that give Filmjölk its characteristic ropey texture and also act as prebiotic fibers, feeding beneficial microbes in the colon. Long-term consumption has been linked in Swedish cohort studies to higher gut microbial diversity in infants and lower rates of atopic diseases such as eczema and asthma. The product delivers about 6.8 grams of protein per 200 milliliter serving and is naturally low in lactose due to bacterial lactase activity. To incorporate Filmjölk into your diet, drink it chilled as a breakfast beverage, pour it over granola, or use it as a base for cold soups. Look for brands that list live cultures and avoid those that contain added flavors or stabilizers, which can mask the delicate probiotic balance. A handful of fresh berries adds antioxidants, while a sprinkle of toasted oats contributes resistant starch that further nourishes the gut flora. Number 12. Ayran, the salty fermented drink from the crossroads of the world. Ayran is a simple, refreshing beverage made from yogurt, water, and a pinch of salt, popular throughout Turkey, the Middle East, and Central Asia. The base yogurt supplies Lactobacillus bulgaricus and Streptococcus thermophilus at concentrations that rival dedicated probiotic supplements, while the added salt creates a mildly hostile environment for pathogenic bacteria, allowing the beneficial lactic acid bacteria to thrive. Traditional consumption of ayran with grilled meats and flatbreads is associated with low rates of gastrointestinal distress in populations that regularly drink it. Modern studies have shown that daily ayran intake can improve gut barrier function and reduce systemic inflammation markers. To make ayran at home, blend 2 parts plain, live culture yogurt with 1 part cold water, add a pinch of sea salt, and whisk until frothy. Serve chilled, ideally with a squeeze of lemon for extra citrus brightness. This drink requires no exotic ingredients and provides a probiotic payload that many Western diets lack. For an extra probiotic edge, stir in a pinch of finely ground cumin, which contains natural antimicrobial compounds that complement the lactic cultures. Number 11. Lassi, ancient India's gut-healing drink. Lassi is a traditional Indian beverage created by diluting live culture yogurt with water and adding spices, fruit, or honey. In Ayurvedic medicine, lassi has been prescribed for centuries to treat digestive imbalances, heat exhaustion, and to deliver medicinal herbs in a medium that enhances absorption. The dilution reduces protein density while preserving the live cultures, making lassi gentler on the stomach than straight yogurt, especially in hot climates. Savory versions often include ground cumin, black salt, and fresh cilantro, spices that stimulate digestive enzymes and complement the probiotic effect. Sweet lassi may incorporate mango puree or honey, delivering both probiotics and antioxidants. Clinical research confirms that regular lassi consumption improves lactobacilli counts in the gut and lowers blood glucose spikes after meals. To prepare, whisk 1 cup plain, live culture yogurt with 1 cup water, add a pinch of salt and a dash of ground cumin for a savory version, or blend with mango and a drizzle of honey for a sweet variation. Serve chilled as a midday refresher or a post-meal aid. Adding a pinch of turmeric not only imparts a golden hue, but also provides curcumin, a compound that synergizes with probiotics to reduce intestinal inflammation. Number 10. Traditional buttermilk, the fermented dairy that modernity forgot. Traditional buttermilk is the liquid left after churning butter from cultured cream. It contains a rich community of Lactococcus lactis and Leuconostoc species that developed during the initial cream culturing. Historically, farmers in Ireland, Scandinavia, and the American South drank buttermilk daily to aid digestion and provide a source of easily assimilated calcium and protein. Modern commercial buttermilk is often a pasteurized milk with added lactic acid, lacking live cultures. Authentic cultured buttermilk lists live and active cultures on the label and retains a tangy flavor and probiotic content. Studies show that traditional buttermilk can improve lactose tolerance, reduce gut inflammation, and support bone health due to its high calcium and vitamin D content. To incorporate it, use it in salad dressings, pancake batters, or simply sip a glass chilled with a pinch of sea salt. emulating the way rural families once did. For a savory twist, blend buttermilk with fresh herbs, garlic, and a dash of horseradish to create a dip that delivers both flavor and a probiotic boost. Number 9. Raw fermented pickles. The probiotic food that grocery stores get wrong. Most store-bought pickles are cucumbers preserved in vinegar, a process that kills any native bacteria. True lacto-fermented pickles are made by submerging cucumbers in a brine of water, salt, and optional flavorings, dill, garlic, peppercorns, and allowing natural lactic acid bacteria on the cucumber skins to ferment the sugars into lactic acid. The result is a crisp, tangy pickle that contains billions of Lactobacillus plantarum and other beneficial strains per serving. The salt brine also supplies electrolytes, while the cucumber fibers act as prebiotics, feeding the introduced microbes. Research demonstrates that regular consumption of raw fermented pickles can increase gut microbial diversity, improve bowel regularity, and lower blood pressure. To identify authentic fermented pickles, look for refrigerated jars with simple ingredient lists: cucumbers, water, salt, and spices, without vinegar or preservatives. For the adventurous, make your own. Pack clean cucumbers into a jar, add 2% kosher salt dissolved in water, seal, and let sit at room temperature for 3,7 days, checking daily for bubbles and aroma. Once fermented, store in the fridge and enjoy 2.3 ounces as a snack or side dish. Adding a few slices of hot pepper during fermentation introduces capsaicin, which may further support metabolic health. Number 8. Natto, the most powerful fermented food most Westerners have never tried. Natto is a Japanese staple made from soybeans fermented with Bacillus subtilis var. Natto. The bacteria produce a sticky, stringy matrix and synthesize the enzyme nattokinase, which exhibits fibrinolytic activity, meaning it can help dissolve blood clots by breaking down fibrin. Natto also provides the highest dietary source of vitamin K2, MK7, essential for directing calcium into bones and teeth rather than arteries. The spore-forming B. subtilis survives stomach acid, reaching the intestine alive and delivering a robust probiotic dose. Clinical trials have linked regular natto consumption to reduced blood pressure, improved arterial elasticity, and lower risk of thrombosis. Its flavor is pungent, with a distinct ammonia-like aroma and a slimy texture that can be off-putting to newcomers. To experience natto, serve it over a bowl of steaming rice, drizzle with soy sauce, and top with a raw egg yolk, a traditional preparation that balances its strong taste. For those hesitant about the texture, mix a spoonful into miso soup or blend into a smoothie with banana, berries, and honey to mask the stickiness while retaining the health benefits. Adding a sprinkle of chopped green onions introduces quercetin, a flavonoid that further supports vascular health. Number 7. Tempeh, the fermented protein that feeds your gut and builds your body. Tempeh originates from Java, Indonesia, where soybeans are cooked, inoculated with the mold Rhizopus oligosporus, and pressed into a dense cake that ferments for 24-48 hours. The fermentation breaks down phytic acid, enhancing mineral absorption, and predigests soy proteins into shorter peptides, making them easier for the human digestive system to utilize. A 1-cup serving of tempeh delivers about 30 grams of complete protein, alongside live cultures that produce natural antibiotics and short-chain fatty acids, supporting gut health. Research indicates that regular tempeh consumption can increase gut microbial diversity, lower inflammatory markers, and improve lipid profiles. Because the mold remains viable, homemade tempeh can be a source of probiotic organisms distinct from those found in dairy. To prepare, steam, or boil tempeh, then marinate in soy sauce, garlic, and ginger, and pan-fry until golden. Use it in stir-fries, tacos, or grain bowls for a hearty, gut-friendly protein boost. For an extra probiotic edge, slice the tempeh thin. Ferment it a second time with a light brine, and then bake. This double fermentation technique has been shown to increase lactobacillus counts. Number 6. Miso. 5,000 years of fermented wisdom in a single spoonful. Miso is a Japanese fermented paste made from soybeans, barley, or rice, inoculated with the mold Aspergillus oryzae, koji. The koji enzymes break down proteins, starches, and fats over months, creating a deep umami flavor and a probiotic-rich product when unpasteurized. Traditional miso contains multiple Lactobacillus strains and beneficial yeasts that survive in the paste. Adding miso after cooking, at temperatures below 115 degrees Fahrenheit, preserves these live cultures, delivering B vitamins, manganese, copper, and a spectrum of bioactive peptides that support gut lining integrity and immune function. Studies have shown that miso consumption can increase beneficial gut bacteria, reduce markers of oxidative stress, and improve blood pressure regulation. To enjoy miso's probiotic benefits, dissolve a tablespoon of raw miso into warm, not boiling, broth at the end of soup preparation, or use it as a seasoning for vegetables, salads, and marinades. Avoid heating miso for prolonged periods, as this destroys the live cultures and reduces its health impact. For a creative twist, whisk miso with avocado and lime to make a probiotic-laden dip that pairs beautifully with raw vegetables. Number 5. Kombucha, the ancient fermented tea that resets your gut ecosystem. Kombucha is a fermented sweet tea created by a symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast, SCOBY, that metabolizes sugar over 1,4 weeks, producing organic acids, acetic, glucuronic, gluconic, B vitamins, enzymes, and a diverse microbial community. The resulting beverage has a mildly effervescent vinegary taste and contains Lactobacillus and Acetobacter species that can inhibit pathogenic microbes such as Candida and E. coli. Research published in the Journal of Food Biochemistry demonstrates kombucha's antimicrobial activity and its ability to increase antioxidant capacity compared with non-fermented tea. Because kombucha contains trace amounts of ethanol and organic acids, it is best consumed in moderation, 4–8 ounces per meal, rather than as a large beverage. For a probiotic boost, opt for raw, unpasteurized kombucha with visible sediment and a faint sour aroma. Homemade versions allow you to control sugar levels and fermentation time, ensuring a living culture remains present. Pair kombucha with a balanced meal to aid digestion and support a diverse gut microbiome. Adding a slice of fresh ginger during secondary fermentation not only intensifies flavor but also contributes gingerols, compounds that synergize with probiotics to calm nausea. Number 4. Sauerkraut, the ancestral gut healer hiding in your refrigerator. Sauerkraut is simply shredded cabbage fermented in a salt brine, a technique practiced across Europe for over 2,000 years. The natural lactic acid bacteria on cabbage leaves, primarily Leuconostoc and Lactobacillus species, convert sugars into lactic acid, preserving the vegetable and creating a probiotic-rich food. Raw, unpasteurized sauerkraut can contain billions of live lactobacilli per serving, delivering more probiotics than many commercial supplement bottles. The fermentation also produces vitamin C, K, and B vitamins, while the cabbage's fiber acts as a prebiotic. Historical accounts note that Roman soldiers and Captain Cook's crews relied on sauerkraut to prevent scurvy during long voyages, recognizing its nutritional power long before vitamins were identified. Modern studies link regular sauerkraut intake to improved gut microbiome diversity, reduced inflammation, and better blood lipid profiles. To ensure you get a probiotic product, choose refrigerated sauerkraut with only cabbage, salt, and water on the label. Avoid versions that list vinegar or have been heat-treated. Serve 2 tablespoons as a side dish, add it to sandwiches, or blend into salads for a crunchy, gut-friendly boost. For an added immune edge, stir in a pinch of caraway seeds, which contain essential oils that may further support digestive health. Number 3. Kimchi. The fermented fire that heals your gut from every angle. Kimchi is a Korean staple consisting of fermented Napa cabbage, radish, garlic, ginger, chili flakes, and fish sauce. Its fermentation involves a succession of lactic acid bacteria, primarily Lactobacillus plantarum, Leuconostoc, and Weissella, creating a dynamic microbial community that mirrors the diversity of a healthy human gut. In addition to probiotics, kimchi supplies prebiotic fibers, sulfur compounds from garlic, capsaicin from chili, and short-chain fatty acids such as butyrate, which directly fuel colonocytes and strengthen the intestinal barrier. A 2013 UNESCO designation recognized the Kimjang tradition the communal preparation of kimchi as intangible cultural heritage, underscoring its social and health significance. Clinical research published in Beneficial Microbes shows that regular kimchi consumption can improve gut microbiome diversity, lower BMI, and reduce fasting blood glucose. To benefit, incorporate 2-3 tablespoons of kimchi into meals as a side, topping for rice bowls, or mixed into salads. Choose varieties without added sugars and those that have undergone natural fermentation for at least a week to ensure maximum probiotic content. Adding a handful of sliced green onions at the end of fermentation introduces flavonoids that complement the probiotic action. Number 2. Greek yogurt with live cultures, the probiotic food hiding in plain sight. Greek yogurt is a strained dairy product that, when made with live and active cultures, delivers a potent probiotic dose. The key strains, Lactobacillus acidophilus, Bifidobacterium species, and Streptococcus thermophilus, survive the straining process and remain viable in the final product. These bacteria have been shown to reduce harmful gut bacteria, improve digestion, and shorten the duration of antibiotic-associated diarrhea. Greek yogurt also provides 18.20 grams of protein and calcium per serving, supporting gut lining renewal. Studies in the Journal of Nutrition demonstrate that women consuming live culture Greek yogurt have distinct gut microbiome profiles compared to those drinking pasteurized yogurt, even when total dairy intake is identical. To maximize probiotic intake, select plain, full-fat Greek yogurt with the National Yogurt Association seal indicating live cultures. Avoid flavored varieties that contain added sugars. Sweeten with raw honey, fresh berries, or a drizzle of maple syrup, and enjoy 150,200 grams as a breakfast or snack to feed both your gut bacteria and your muscles. For a savory option, stir in chopped cucumber, dill, and a squeeze of lemon. The added vegetables provide additional prebiotic fibers. Number 1. Kefir, the most powerful probiotic food most people have never made. Kefir is a fermented milk drink originating from the Caucasus Mountains, where shepherds cultivated kefir grains, complex colonies of bacteria and wild yeasts resembling tiny cauliflower florets. These grains harbor 50 distinct strains of beneficial microbes, far surpassing the diversity found in commercial yogurt. The symbiotic community includes Lactobacillus, Leuconostoc, Acetobacter, and various yeasts that together produce a tangy, slightly effervescent beverage rich in probiotics, vitamins, and bioactive peptides. Clinical trials have shown that regular kefir consumption enhances gut microbial diversity, alleviates irritable bowel syndrome symptoms, reduces systemic inflammation, and can be tolerated by many lactose-intolerant individuals because the microbes consume most of the lactose during fermentation. A landmark study in Frontiers in Microbiology reported lasting ecological shifts in participants' gut microbiomes after a 4-week kefir regimen. For maximum benefit, drink 4.6 ounces of plain, full-fat kefir on an empty stomach, allowing more bacteria to survive gastric acid. Homemade kefir made with authentic kefir grains yields a higher live culture density than commercial versions, making it the ideal starting point for anyone seeking a true probiotic powerhouse. To keep the grains thriving, feed them daily with fresh milk and store them in the refrigerator when not in use. A healthy grain colony can produce several batches before needing a refresh. These 20 foods illustrate how a simple shift in what you place on your plate can turn everyday meals into a living pharmacy for your gut. What if you could choose foods that not only nourish you, but also actively train and heal your internal ecosystem? The answer lies in these probiotic-rich traditions: kefir, kimchi, sauerkraut, natto, fermented beet kvass, and the many others that bridge ancient wisdom with modern science. Embrace them, experiment in your kitchen, and watch your health transform from the inside out.